Texting women to get dates, sex, or a relationship can be a very frustrating and difficult process for some guys. Right? The guy has good intentions, he texts the woman, but he encounters one of the following problems that either result in him being ignored, rejected, friend-zoned, or him just feeling like it's all too difficult. Texting is taking up so much of his time, he's not getting anywhere, and so on. I'm also going to explain one simple solution that fixes all of the problems, right? You'll understand that later in the video, and that way you can easily make women want you via text, you can make them feel compelled to reply to you, and you can get them out on dates for sex or a relationship. So the first frustrating problem is not getting any real action, right? So he may get a number from a woman in person or match with her on a dating app, and he puts in a lot of effort via text, or he put in a lot of effort when talking to her in person, and then puts in some effort via text and doesn't get a date, right? Or he matches with a number of women on dating apps, he puts in a lot of effort talking to them, and he doesn't get anywhere. And it ends up feeling exhausting to him, the amount of effort that he has to put in to try to get somewhere. The next problem, women giving short answers or not contributing enough to the conversation. So other than things like a woman playing hard to get, or her testing a guy's confidence, or not wanting to seem too keen, a lack of enthusiasm via text on her part usually means a lack of attraction. So a guy needs to simply focus on making her feel sparks of attraction via text, so she then feels motivated to reply and motivated to contribute more to the conversation so she can get to go out on a date with him. Now the thing is, a lack of enthusiasm from her part usually means that it's a lack of attraction, but you can't always assume that because texting is more about how things seem than how they actually are. So when a woman isn't contributing a lot to a text conversation, she could be sitting there holding her phone going, wow, he's texting me. Oh my God, I like this guy. I hope he asked me out on a date. But when the guy texts her and asks, hey, how are you? She replies with, hey. He then says, been up to anything interesting today? No. So he tries to add more to the conversation by saying, I went to the football today. It was a great game. And she replies with, cool. So she's replying in a distant kind of way, but she can actually be sitting there feeling excited that the guy she likes is texting her. Yet she's playing it cool, right? She doesn't want to seem too keen, or she doesn't want to show too much interest to the point where the guy feels like, all right, I've got this girl already. I don't need to do anything to impress her, and she's going to want me. I've got it all sorted. So sometimes a guy isn't getting much back from a woman via text and he assumes that it means she doesn't like him, yet it can mean many other things. That said, if a guy isn't getting much back from a woman via text and he's texting her in just a neutral, friendly type of way, more like a nice guy would talk to a woman in person, just trying to get along with her, find commonalities, show her that he's a good guy and so forth, then she's not going to be feeling attracted to that. Women aren't turned on by that type of approach. Women do want to get themselves a good guy, but they want a guy who can make them feel sparks of attraction. And creating that via text is easy. And I'll explain more about that later in the video. Another frustrating problem that guys experience is getting no reply at all. Now, there are so many reasons why that can happen, and sometimes it doesn't mean that she doesn't like you. For example, she may have matched with a number of guys on a dating app, and you may be one of them, and you text her, and she did actually like your photos, but she's just not opening the app at the moment. She's not getting in there and replying to guys. Something's happening in her life, or she may have started dating a new guy, or she may be busy at work, or she may just have a lot on and she's not replying at the moment because she either doesn't have the time to get involved in all the text conversations that will happen, or she just doesn't want to be asked out at this point in time because she has got a lot on. In other cases, when you get a number from a woman in person, for example, or when you know a woman in person and she's your crush and you get her number and you start texting or you start messaging her on social media, she'll try to act mysterious and try to act busy to make the guy want her more. In other cases, she just doesn't feel like she needs to endlessly text a guy to show that she's interested, right? She wants him to just assume that she's interested and text her a little bit and ask her out on a date. Now, in terms of getting no reply, sometimes a guy will send an initial text that suggests to her that he might be insecure, or he might be needy, or he might be this or that, and that's why she's not replying. The list can go on here for quite a while, but all you need to do is something very simple that I'll explain later in the video. Another frustrating problem that guys experience when texting women is being taken the wrong way. So, for example, a guy tries to use humor and she takes it the wrong way and then loses interest in him. And the guy then feels frustrated because he is trying to be funny. He's heard that women like guys who can make them laugh, but when he does it, it doesn't seem to work. So, for example, he sends her, "Hey, how are you?" "Good, and you?" "Not bad, but it's still early." Right, so that can seem funny to him if he's only joking, right? He sees it as his weird sense of humor. Yet she can read that as meaning he is possibly a bit of a downer, or will be the sort of guy who needs encouragement from her to feel better and be more positive and so on. Of course, some women will get it and laugh along, but many women will assume that he might be a bit of a downer, or he may be undisciplined, or he might be unorganized and so on. He might be one of those sort of guys. Now, in person, he might have been able to say that to a woman and come across in an attractive way by saying something like, "Yeah, not bad, but it's still early. I'm feeling a bit tired after being out late last night. How about yourself? How are you feeling?" So therefore, the woman can sense that he's not being a downer, he's not a negative sort of guy, he's just a bit tired after being out late last night. But via text, that sort of sense of humor doesn't always come across in the right way. Generally speaking, humor that results in the woman feeling attracted is charming, playful, or positive humor. Humor that can result in the woman rejecting a guy is if he's being too explicitly sexual, too dark, or too extreme. Humor that can result in the woman placing a guy in the friend zone is when he's being too nice, he's using sweet humor or lots of dad jokes or corny jokes. Humor that can result in a woman feeling confused and misunderstanding the guy is when he uses a weird, quirky type of sense of humor. So the thing is, women do like a guy who can make them laugh, but what a lot of guys get confused about is why their humor doesn't seem to go that well via text. For example, a guy might be using dad jokes or corny jokes, or he might be using a weird, dark sense of humor that he could pull off in person with certain women, or even via text, he could pull off with a small percentage of women, but pretty much all women feel attracted to charming, playful, or positive type of humor via text. And one of the reasons why is that you can't see the other person's body language. You can't hear their tonality. So when a guy uses dad jokes or corny jokes or has a weird, quirky sense of humor, the woman can assume that when he's saying that, his body language is also like a corny type of dad. Or when he uses weird, quirky type of humor, he's a weird, awkward, quirky type of guy, even though he's not, right? Even though he might be a very cool guy and he might be able to say that to her in person, and she may laugh because he's being confident in the moment and she can sense that he's not an awkward type of guy. Another frustrating problem guys often experience when texting women is being ghosted. So this is where the woman suddenly stops replying without any explanation, even though things seem to be going well between them. When that happens, it's usually either because she lost attraction based on how the guy was texting her, or another guy came along and did more than just text her, right? He got her out on a date and he kissed her, and then they had sex and started an actual relationship, whereas the other guy was just texting. Another frustrating problem is that the conversation becomes boring for her or for both of them, right? So that happens when there's a lack of flirting or a lack of taking things to the next level. In other words, arranging a catch-up. That can also happen when a guy makes the classic mistake of trying to connect with a woman via text, right? He thinks that he needs to get to know her, get along with her, find things in common, talk about himself, his hopes and dreams, and ask her about her hopes and dreams and so on. And it's just not what texting is for in terms of a dating sense, right? All you need to do is what I'll tell you later in the video. The next frustrating problem is being more attracted to her than she is attracted to him and not being able to change that. As a result, his texts tend to come across as though he's trying to get her to like him or hopefully be accepted by her. She senses that, and it makes her feel like she'd almost be doing him a favor by going out on a date with him, or that it would be her giving him a chance to be with her. But that's not exciting for women. Women want to feel like they are getting a chance with you. And finally, another frustrating problem is getting friend-zoned by her, even though she was initially interested. So that can happen when a guy has met a woman in person, he's made her feel a lot of attraction, and she really did like him on the night or the day that they met. And when he started texting her, she then friend-zoned him. And he's thinking, what is going on there? She really liked him, and now she's behaving like this. What's going on? Likewise, a woman might match with a guy on a dating app and be interested and be showing some interest via text, but then friend zone him. And he'd be thinking, what is going on? Why has she suddenly changed how she feels about me? In most cases, it's because the guy hasn't been attracting her via text, or he's taking too long to get to the point of asking her out. So the simple solution that I said I would tell you is that you make her feel sparks of attraction and then arrange a meetup with her. That's it, right? Compared to trying to get to know her, trying to connect with her, trying to get along with her, trying to get her to like you as a person, trying to find out things about her and so forth. All of that is exhausting, and it often leads to the friend zone, right? The woman isn't feeling sparks of attraction. She isn't feeling that sexual and romantic excitement. She's feeling like she's talking to a friend or a guy who just wants to be friends with her. The thing is, even though the solution of just attract her and arrange a meetup is simple and it's easy, a lot of guys don't understand attraction, right? It's the same with attracting women in person, right? You can tell a guy, hey, you need to be confident. Women feel attracted to confident guys, but how do you be confident? You can tell a guy, hey, make a woman laugh, right? Women feel attracted to guys who can make them laugh. But how do you do that? And what type of humor is going to work via text and in person? If you want to watch some of my free texting examples on how to be confident and make a woman laugh in a way that makes her feel attracted to you via text, then make sure that you watch the video that will appear at the end of this video. Additionally, if you want to watch hundreds of examples of how to use humor and confidence in a way that is attractive to women, that then results in her feeling eager to meet up with you and happily saying yes when you suggest a meetup, then I recommend that you watch my program, Text Attraction. Text Attraction is the ultimate guide on how to attract women via text for dates, sex, and relationships. Text Attraction isn't all just about humor though. There are other attractive traits that you can display via text without even using humor that will make the woman feel attracted and feel eager to go on a date with you. Text Attraction also comes with a free bonus called 1,200 text examples. And that is a collection of all the text from the program in order with a table of contents, so you can quickly and easily find any text you want when you're texting live with a woman and you want to make her feel attracted and get her to happily say yes when you suggest a meetup. Okay, so if you want to watch a few free examples of how to attract women via text by using confidence and humor, then click on the video that is appearing on the screen now, watch it, and you'll see how it works in action.